6-0 sweep in the NBA streets on Friday night, guys. Last time I was able to get out a video, we were able to go for a full sweep over in the VIP using the same exact process that I use in these videos, breaking down the process of all that goes into my plays. The Tyus Jones under 20.5 points and assists, the Da Silva under 13.5 points, the Bridges under 20.5 points and assists, the Mobley over 2.5 assists, the Bain fantasy score, the Herbert Jones over fantasy score. We're able to get a full 6 out of 6 sweep over on Betr, which is going to be the same app that I'm going to be using here today and sharing with you guys some free plays. If you do not have it, you got to get it, man. It's the best app in the game. And when I say it's the best app in the game, it has nothing to do with it being fun or, you know, the interface or whatever the case may be. I'm talking strictly making money. If you want to make money, I don't think there's a better app in the game. I've been in this game for quite some time, and I am telling you, between the 6-pick dynamic option, where you get 4 out of 6 or better in profit, and the value that they offer on their app, there's not a better place to be right now in this DFS app game if you're looking to make money than Betr. So get the Betr. They're going to match you with a $200 deposit match using the code KGKDFS. My link down below, I'll have it pinned as the top comment. And I come on this channel, and I give out free VIP plays every single piece of my content, guys, because I don't think there's a better way to show you that I know what I'm talking about and to be transparent about what goes in my process, you know, than to come on and give you the actual plays that I'm playing, the actual plays that I'm backing, and then breaking down like what's going into them. So I'm going to give you 2 more for free here. If you have not joined my Discord, that's where these plays are coming from, man. I don't know why you're not in the VIP Discord if you haven't joined already. You see pretty consistently I come on this channel and I explain you know, the results we're getting. Betr is limiting me down to $50 per play now because I won too much money on their app. So we're going to keep pumping out content, keep telling you guys the process. But we got people over here paying $1.66 a day, making hundreds of dollars in a night. So this was that night that I talked about, Gara 962. You don't have to have a lot of money to make a lot of money on these apps. I don't understand. So some of the top comments I'm getting are like, you know, it costs too much and I don't have the bankroll. You know, it's $1.66 a day, guys. The majority of my members are playing $5, $10, $15, $20. You don't have to have a lot of money. You like Gara 962 is consistently playing $10 on his tickets. He came into my Discord and kind of was learning the process. He was new to this. I remember when he joined. He's constantly learning, right? A 5-pick perfect when plays get removed or whatever the case may be is pretty optimal on Betr. He ran 2 5-pick perfects. He put in $10 on each of them, and he made $400. He put in $20, and he made $400 in a night. You know, he just paid for 4 months membership, which is obviously the goal. Like, if I don't have a product that provides more value than what it costs, people aren't going to want to stay in there, right? So I have that obviously factored into the cost of my product or whatever the case may be. I already brought up mine, so the 50 into 1,000. Using these same plays, right? We had JC80 with the 10 into 200. So shout out to you, my friend. Ed the Fred, longtime member. This is a perfect example of it. He's worked his way up to $50 units. $1,000 here. $1,000 here. $1,000 here. $3,000. And then he went ahead and used the same props that we were on Betr. These were all props that I played on Betr that were available on Prizepicks. It looks like he went ahead and played, I believe the only line that was higher here might have been that Bain fantasy score because we got it at 31.5, but I had said in my Discord I liked it a lot. And he turned another 75 and 1875 on Prizepicks just by utilizing all the resources over here. Then we had Gara with another one, 10 into 100. So I'm going to continue to pump up this free content, try to give you guys as much value as I can for free. JC80, another 10 into 200 here. So that was the last date that I put out a video. That was the date we cashed in and swept over there. I'd love to have you join. This content is going to be actual plays from that same Discord, right? So here it is. I'm going to give you 2 better. They're going to be the latest 2 Betr tickets that I placed. And the game's always changing, right? So these apps are starting to move these plays up and down even quicker. So I'm even changing my product to provide pivots and help you when things get removed or whatever the case may be. If I was just giving you a link, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the top comments I get is, can you give us a link to just take your plays? The plays are moving so fast right now that the links are useless. If I just gave you links, you're going to be hung out to dry. They're changing the plays so quickly that I have to give you my plays, and then when they bump, I have to be prepared to provide even more value and more pivots, which I am. So we're continuing to improve over there. I would love to have you join, guys. I will have that link down below. And I just want to make it very clear that I am giving you actual plays that I'm playing, actual plays that I'm backing. It's just going to be 2 6-pick dynamic plays, which is what we're playing for long-term profit. Guys, of course, I do not get every single one of my plays right at 6 out of 6, right? Anyone that tells you that is lying. But we're playing for long-term profit. And once again, as long as I'm getting 4 out of 6 or better, I'm making money. So you'll see on that same night, some of these same plays, we had some bumps and removals. I brought up that Tatum fantasy that a member played. We missed on Siakam fantasy. The Boston-Indiana game turned into a blowout. Siakam sat on the bench the whole fourth quarter. That sucks. That happens. I had Siakam projected for, about 38 fantasy points. If he would have played the fourth quarter, he would have got there. So, we missed that one by 1. It's just going to happen. Here's another one we missed by 1. The Wembanyama under 20.5 points and assists was my play of the day that night. So that cashed in. I brought up the Trey Murphy points and assists in my Discord. One of my members used on Prizepicks, right? These are all plays we use. Unfortunately, Jalen Suggs went over it. We missed one play. We still profited, right? So I turned 50 into 62.50. That's why we run. Everything that I teach is for mathematical long-term profit. If you're playing 5 and 6 pick dynamic entries on Betr picks, you're going to have the best chance of making money long-term because you're getting minus 121 implied odds. Just look at this list and think of it as you're getting like the same exact TV, the same exact product, but you're paying a higher price. The 3-pick dynamic play is an awful ticket. That's the worst kind of play you can play on their app. If you're playing a 3-pick dynamic, you either need to learn or you need to stop playing. So 6-pick dynamic, 5-pick dynamic, and 5-pick perfect. Those are the 3. They're all essentially minus 121, minus 122, just minus 120 odds, which is kind of the same name of the game with all these apps. We're looking to get good plays, and we're essentially getting minus 120 odds if you're playing in an optimal slip type. It's the same thing for Prizepicks, 5 and 6-pick dynamics. You're getting minus 119 implied odds. So you want to play 5 and 6-pick flexes on Prizepicks. You're getting a way better deal than all these other entries. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the actual plays here today. The Norman Powell and Ivica Zubac fantasy score I do have highlighted here because I absolutely love these props. Let's bring up the latest that I placed here. So I'm going to give you 2, like I said, the 2 latest. Hopefully these are all still available, man. I don't know. There's been some removals already. Looks like, see, they're all still available at the time of recording. So there's only going to be one difference in these 2 tickets. And that's going to be, I do have interest in the Zubac and the Powell fantasy score. I really wanted to make sure I captured this top 5 picks of value before they could take them down. The fantasy scores tend to stay up longer, so I ran 1 with the Zubac fantasy, and I ran 1 with the Powell fantasy. So that's the only difference you're going to see in these 2 tickets. These are sent over to my Discord once again. These are actual plays that I'm backing with my own money. As you can see, I have my account pulled up, actual plays that I'm providing my VIP members. So let's talk about it. We got the Stephen Curry under 25.5 points, the Kuminga under 6.5 rebounds, the CJ McCollum under 8.5 rebounds and assists, the James Harden over 2.5 3-pointers made, the Powell over 32.5 fantasy score, and the Kyrie Irving under 10.5 rebounds and assists. Why the heck did this guy click these buttons, right? Like I always say, it's the same process that went under that ticket you saw me bring up at the beginning of the video. Stephen Curry, arguably the best shooter of all time, and we're taking the under. Why the heck did this guy click the under 25.5 points? Is he insane? No, I am not insane. I am finding the very best value on these apps. You're going to see Stephen Curry's listed at 24.5 on Prizepicks. Now, it's very important that I reiterate, we're only taking this at the 25.5 number. Why is that, guys? I do use multiple tools every single day to find the very best plays on these apps, one of which is going to be the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. If you do not have this tool, full transparency, it's a lot of the reason I'm able to green out a lot of these props, right? Those props you saw at the beginning of the video that were all green. Big result of this tool, they're going to help you with 25% off. Use my link down below. Once again, you can get all my plays, but I also do explain the actual process, the tools that I use. If you're someone that likes to do your own research, it's going to be 2025 here shortly. You got a lot of options. If you have a lot going on, you don't have time to do your research yourself, you got my VIP package, you got the free content. If you're someone that has some more time or you're looking to learn how to do it yourself, these tools are really going to help you out. So I would highly recommend You check them out. You can see the under 25.5 points. They're giving this a 51.06% chance to hit. Why is that? Because he's listed at 25.5 in all these markets, but he's also listed down to 24.5 in multiple markets. And we're actually starting to see this creep up more. I'm not going to lie. Another tool that I'm using is OddsJam, guys, every single day, and they have a live feed sportsbook screen. So I'm bringing this in. If I bring up Stephen Curry, once again, we'll hook you up with a sweet deal. My link down below if you want to use this tool. You're going to see the latest right here, live data feed. The 25.5, Pinnacle is known as the sharpest, smartest sportsbook in the entire world. They have him aggressively favored at minus 146 on the under 25.5. Now, keep in mind, these markets are very, very, very precise. So FanDuel actually has him slightly listed as the under minus 122 on the under 24.5. DraftKings barely favored on the over 24.5. Minus 130 on the under on BetMGM. So if you don't know what this data means, guys, there's millions and millions of dollars dumped into this data every single day. And they make money long-term by setting these lines appropriately, right? That's how these sportsbooks companies make money. They don't want to lose too much money, so they're going to make you risk $130 to take the under 25.5 points here on BetMGM. If you were to take the over, you'd have to risk 130 to win 100 to take it the under, right? If you were to take the over, it's listed at plus 100. So what that means is you're actually going to have to risk less to win more, right? So like, let's say, since it's minus 130, we'll use plus 130. It's just the easiest example. Minus 130, you're going to have to risk 130 to win 100. Plus 130, you'd have to risk 100 to win 130. So you're actually going to risk less and get paid out more. The $100 figure is just the easiest way to explain it because it's easy math, right? 100 pays 130 at plus 130. 130 pays 100 at minus 130. So you're having to risk more if it's minus, less if it's plus. You're likely to hit the prop higher if you're obviously risking more. That's how these odds work. And keep in mind, we are getting minus 121 on Betr in a 5 or 6 pick dynamic play. So the same exact prop on Pinnacle, known as the sharpest, smartest sports book in the world, meaning they set the best lines, right? They have at minus 146 exactly. They're very precise at the 25.5. We're getting minus 121. So we're getting a steal. We're getting an absolute steal on this prop. And if we're going to break it down even more from a statistical advantage, guys, outlier, every single day I'm using this tool. Once again, I'm trying to give you free VIP plays, free content, as much free value as possible. Partnering up with these guys to give you 7 days completely free, and this tool is going to bring in a lot of that same data that I'm talking about in my process. If you use my link down below, they'll give you 7 days completely free. If we bring in Stephen Curry here and we go to his points, you're going to see, guys, if I sort this by implied probability and we go to his points, they're going to list every single points prop that's listed on these books, though. So keep in mind, some of these markets had him at 24.5, as I had discussed. You can see the 24.5 is actually the one. The under 24.5, they're actually giving a 53% chance to hit, which is pretty crazy. And then if we go to the 25.5, it's like even better, like crazy good prop here, guys. Minus 147 to vig odds on Pinnacle. All of these different markets, minus 130 on BetMGM, as I had discussed. They're saying at minus 120, it's a plus expected value bet. 60% hit rate over his last 10 on this. And then if we look at the matchup here, as far as the points are concerned versus Cleveland versus the point guard position where Curry plays, 14th best in the entire league, only giving up 23.6 points per game. That's all factored into the market. That's all factored into the odds. These are all things going into my process every single day. So that's a phenomenal prop for pick number 1. We got the Stephen Curry under 25.5 points. Second, we got Jonathan Kuminga under 6.5 rebounds. So we'll go ahead and speed things up now that you kind of get the concept of all the different data that's going into my process, right? The under 6.5 rebounds. A lot of these props, guys, are just simply not going to be available on Prizepicks, unfortunately. This is why I continue to tell you that Betr is really good. Like Kuminga, they only have his alternates. They don't have his standard 6.5 rebounds. And why is that? Because he's going to be pretty aggressively favored on all of these different sports books to go under the 6.5 rebounds. They're saying like it's too likely he's going to hit. That's kind of how Prizepicks algorithm works. So they're just not going to even go ahead and post him, right? So if we bring him into the Betr optimizer, you're going to see Jonathan Kuminga, the 6.5 rebounds. They're actually saying it's at plus money here at the over. So keep in mind, we are taking the under. And once again, if I go ahead and bring him into OddsJam, which is going to bring in a completely live feed of every single prop out there, Jonathan Kuminga, On his rebounds, aggressively favored on the under at -132 on Pinnacle. He's favored on the under at DraftKings all the way up to -145, -133 on Caesars. So these markets in real time are just aggressively favoring his under. He's actually all the way up -150 on Fanatics. So it's just a really, really good prop here to be taking the under. We have sharp action coming in on the under. Keep in mind, we are getting -121 implied odds, and he's not listed on Underdog Fantasy or Prizepicks. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys that's a key indicator that you're getting good value. It's another reason I continue to tell you that you use Betr. You're going to get some really good plays that you can't get on these other apps, such as a Prizepicks, such as an Underdog Fantasy. They're not even listing that prop, right? And there's a reason they're not listing it. It's too good a value. Okay, so like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I'm just going to kind of make it straight to the point for you, man. It's a really, really good prop. So we want to be targeting it. And it's a very similar concept here. The fantasy score props are going to be a little bit different. So we can go ahead and switch things up and talk about some fantasy score props here. Because like I said, I will be taking the over 32.5 fantasy score for Norman Powell. Betr has the same exact fantasy scoring format as Prizepicks. This is what you're looking at for the scoring format. It's going to be 1 point for every point, 1.2 for every rebounds, 1.5 for every assist, 3 points for the blocks, and 3 points for the steals. And you get -1s for the turnovers. So fantasy score, I do use a little bit of a different process. I do use multiple projection models. They have the same exact fantasy score as FanDuel, if you're familiar with FanDuel DraftKings, like DFS tournaments. Prizepicks, Betr, these DFS player props apps just essentially went ahead and stole FanDuel's scoring format, right? So if we go ahead and we go to the FanDuel points per minute, you're going to see these guys are producing at a very high rate, and they're playing a ton of different minutes. I have them projected very, very well here tonight. So we have Norman Powell putting up 1.04 fantasy points per minute in the Prizepicks, in the Betr fantasy scoring format. He's going out there and playing 33.1 minutes per game. He's putting up 35.9 fantasy points per game, and he's got a 27% usage rate. He leads all small forwards in usage rate. He's simply underpriced. I have him and Zubac projected like way over, I'm not going to lie, and they've been consistently hitting this. This chart means nothing to me, so I don't really like, bringing up the screen chart and making it seem like this is what I'm using to find my plays. This means nothing, but I will say it is kind of representing his fantasy point per minute production and how they continue to misrepresent him, because he's putting up 35, 36, etc., and I have him projected for the same here tonight. I've got him essentially, getting like 37, 38 fantasy points. And the same can be said here for Zubac. So these are two guys I just have projected insanely well compared to where they're priced on these apps. And we're getting an even better line on Betr. Keep in mind, guys, like I said, Powell, we're actually getting all the way down at 32.5. I know it's only one fantasy point. It might not seem like a big deal if you're new to this, but it's a pretty big deal. Zubac, we're getting at 38.5. So we're getting an even better discount over on Betr. I talk about it all the time. You want to get the best possible line you can get. So you can play them on Prizepicks. I do have them projected over even at the bump, but just keep in mind, like, we're getting even better value on Betr. And we have Vika Zubac putting up 1.17 fantasy points per minute on the season. He's putting up 32.5 minutes per game, 38.2 fantasy points per game. I've actually got him getting in the 40s, though. My projections are factoring in the matchup, injuries, etc., etc. And another thing that's really sticking out to me is just how solidified the minutes are on this rotation, guys. So the LA Clippers, like, they are not messing around with these players' minutes. You can see 36, 34, 30, 37, 9, 40, etc. It's Powell, it's Zubac, it's Harden. All the usage, all the minutes are flowing through these three guys. So I actually do have some tickets where I have both of these guys' fantasy scores in the same tickets, and I have James Harden as well with the three-pointers in these tickets, as you can see, and I feel perfectly comfortable with that because of the amount of minutes these guys are getting, right? It's just pretty insane the amount of solidified minutes this rotation is providing right now. So that brings us to our next play. We got the James Harden over 2.5 three-pointers made. This was available on Prizepicks. It looks like Powell just got bumped up even again on Prizepicks. So this is what I'm talking about. Prizepicks is just very good at what they do. You can get a much better play. You can get a much better line over on Betr. There's multiple fantasy scores I was able to capture at a much better line on Betr over my VIP. So in real time, like, I'm getting this at 32.5. They have him now all the way up to 34. I continue to, like, I'm not BSing you that this app is just providing so much good value. So you're kind of seeing it in real time. But anyways, so then we got the CJ McCollum under 8.5 rebounds and assists. the Kyrie Irving under 10.5 rebounds and assists, the James Harden over 2.5 3-pointers. So I'll go ahead and make these nice and quick for you. Let's go ahead and bring up the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. Let's try to find as many data points as we can. Let's see if these are available on other apps. So James Harden, you can see he's only got his Demon, his Goblin now available on Prizepicks. His 2.5 was available earlier. They took it down, so I wouldn't play it on Prizepicks. I'd play it, on an app such as a Betr where you can get the standard prop. Maybe he's available on Underdog Fantasy. I doubt it. Let's see if he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. Nope, they went ahead and altered it as well. So it looks like the only place you can get this on Betr, and it's a phenomenal prop. They're giving it a 53.13% chance to hit because he's favored at -133 on the over on Pinnacle, -130 on FanDuel. All of these different markets, like it's a really, really good prop. So I want to be taking advantage of that. Then we got the CJ McCollum under 10.5 rebounds and assists, and the Kyrie Irving under 10.5 rebounds and assists. And once again, guys, Prizepicks, I'm sorry, they're bumping everything. So this is why I'm going to continue to tell you, it might behoove you, it might be a smart idea to get the Betr app, because you're going to see, guys, look at the difference. Look at the difference in these plays that I'm getting. I got Ivica Zubac, who's now at 39.5 fantasy score. I got him at 38.5 fantasy score. An entire fantasy point less. I got Norman Powell, fantasy score at 32.5. He's now all the way up to 34 on Prizepicks. I got CJ McCollum's under 8.5. He's moved down to 8 even on Prizepicks. I got Kyrie Irving's under 10.5 rebounds assists. He's moved down to 10 even on Prizepicks. So I'm just going to be real with you, man. It's a lot of value you can't get on Prizepicks today, and in general on Betr. It just seems to be the case, man. You can see CJ McCollum, a 54.13% chance to hit in the under because he's at -132 FanDuel, -140 BetMGM, aggressively favored at -145 on Bovada, right? All of these different markets are aggressively favoring us under. We want to be taking advantage of that on the Betr app. And then Kyrie Irving, it's going to be the same story, right? He's going to be aggressively favored on all these different markets, -130 on the under on DraftKings, -137 on Caesars. And if we go ahead and we bring on the OddsJam Sportsbook screen, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of different data telling us these rebounds and assist props are really standing out here to us today. We can bring up Kyrie Irving. And I put the PRA in. Apologies. We want the rebounds and assists. You can see he's at -140 on FanDuel in real time, -120 DraftKings, -130 Caesars. All of these different sports books favoring his under. There's a reason that Prizepicks moves these lines. And then the other guy we had discussed was McCollum, who, if we bring up, you can see the best possible place you can place this is on Betr at -121 implied odds. Literally, there's not a better place you could be taking it. He's moved down to 8 even on Dabble. He's moved down to 8 even on Prizepicks. He's all the way up to -145 on DraftKings. That's insane. The fact that we're getting -121 compared to -145 on DraftKings. DraftKings is very good at what they do, guys. DraftKings makes money long term by setting these lines right? So if they set these lines wrong, they'd go out of business. And newsflash, DraftKings is not going out of business anytime soon, guys. They're very good at what they do. So we can use this data to find very good plays on these apps, okay? So those are the 2 tickets I'm giving you guys for free here today. They are on the Betr app. If you don't have it, I would go ahead and download it. You can take the fantasy scores on Prizepicks, but they're moving up even more in real time. So it's I'd recommend getting the Betr app. This was the first one I shared with you guys for free. We got the Stephen Curry under 25.5 points, Jonathan Kuminga under 6.5 rebounds, CJ McCollum under 8.5 rebounds and assists, James Harden over 2.5 3-pointers, Norman Powell over 32.5 fantasy points, and the Kyrie Irving under 10.5 rebounds and assists. Okay, the second one's the same exact ticket, except for we're going with the Zubac fantasy instead of the Norman Powell fantasy. If these props should get removed and bumped or whatever the case may be, you have 2 fantasy scores you can run together. I feel perfectly fine running the 2 fantasy scores together should you need to. But at the time of recording, you can still get all these. I'm pulling them up in real time right now on my app to see if you can still get them. And if I go ahead and use the reuse lineup feature, they're all still there. So Curry's still at the 25.5, Kuminga's still at the 6.5 rebounds. You can still get all of these props. James Harden, the Powell fantasy you can still get. And then the same thing can be said for the second one on the Zubac prop. If I use the reuse lineup, you should be able to get all these still as well. Okay, guys, so you should be able to tail today, hopefully, after I drop this video. And I'll pull them up one more time. The Discord just makes it bigger on the screen for the content so you guys can see it all. Curry under 25.5 points, Kuminga under 6.5 rebounds, CJ McCollum under 8.5 rebounds and assists, James Harden over 2.5 3-pointers made, Norman Powell over 32.5 fantasy points, Kyrie Irving under 10.5 rebounds and assists. And the other one, once again, the Curry under 25.5 points, the Kuminga under 6.5 rebounds, the CJ McCollum under 8.5 rebounds and assists, the Harden over 2.5 3-pointers, the Kyrie Irving under 10.5 rebounds and assists. It's just we're going with the Zubac over 38.5 fantasy points on that one. And they're 6-pick dynamic entries, so as long as we get 4 out of 6 or better, we're going to profit money, right, guys? It's that same concept I brought up at the beginning of the video. Of course, we're not going to get 6 out of 6 correct in every one. And Zubac's getting bumped up even more, guys, on Prizepicks. So, get the better picks at, man. You're going to get some really, really good deals on these player props today because we're getting them at much better lines, right? And we do want to be running them in 6-pick dynamics, that same concept I brought up. It's going to help you to make the most money long term on your player props, right? Because as long as you're going 4 out of 6 or better, you're going to profit money. So that's what we want to do here today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Wishing you all the very best of luck on your NBA player props tonight. If you do want to get access to all my plays, hop on over in the VIP. I'll have that link down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.